The Prying Game is another great episode of Full House. This is the 10th episode of the 7th season. This is directed by John Tracy, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. There are two main parts to the narrative, so I'll talk about those in turn, but we also have a rather sweet introduction where Joey is playing bowling with Nicky and Alex, and I could be wrong about this, but this might be one of the first times they've had 3 words to say. They both say, I don't know. And I don't know if they've ever had anything with 3 words in it. I could be wrong, but certainly I feel like as the episodes go on, they're getting more and more to say, which is just an absolute delight to see them growing up. But then, as I said, have 2 parts to the narrative, one focusing on Stephanie and Kimmy, and one focusing on Jesse, and I'll talk about Jesse first. Jesse presents his hairspray tool to help Michelle so she doesn't get a sticky face with her hairspray. And I love this. It's such an iconic part of Full House. And it's a really great idea. And he and Joey and Danny decide that they can actually market this and sell this. It's a great invention. I have to agree. And basically, you put the tool over your forehead and you spray the hairspray and it protects your face from the hairspray. And they've called it the Spray Guard 2001. And they go and wake up San Francisco. Michelle goes on because she was the one with the problem with the hairspray. And then her eyes get very wide when she realizes there are millions of viewers. It's rather adorable. And they end up demonstrating it. But it doesn't go according to plan. Because, well, Joey had sprayed some of the handles pink because, as he said, women use hairspray too. Apparently women need pink things, but also I would gravitate towards the pink thing, so fair enough to some extent. And the glue gets stuck on Joey's face, so Jesse has to do it, but he kind of accidentally uses the pink spray, the pink paint, and that makes his hair pink. It looks great. I rather liked it. So it's basically gone from bad to worse. And then a phone call comes in, a caller phones, and he claims that they've stolen his idea, his invention. So it didn't exactly go according to plan, but it was good fun. Really enjoyed it. Things seemed to move very quickly as well, but it was really entertaining, and I liked it a lot. And the Spray Guard 2001 is just really brilliant. We then come to Stephanie and Kimmy, and Steve stops off at the house to leave DJ a note saying he's going to have to cut their date short. He needs to study, and that's fair enough. And then when he's at the library, Stephanie's at the library, and she happens to see Steve with another girl, and they're being very, very friendly. And Stephanie doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know if she should tell DJ, so she ends up telling Kimmy, and they very temporarily form an unlikely partnership as Kimmy and Stephanie team up to try and find out what's going on. And the reason for this is obviously they don't want to hurt DJ, but I think Kimmy also very much liked the mystery and the drama of it. And they go over to Steve's apartment, and they're crawling around trying to find things, and then the girl from the library is there. And she's actually played, for information, she's played by Kristin Pearcey, and obviously when she's there, they hide out of sight. They hear her on the phone talking about getting married, which of course is not what anybody would expect her to be saying, and they instantly assume that Steve is leading a double life. And then Kimmy and Steve come back from their date, and of course they have to try and hide, but there's a problem. Kimmy has a foot cramp, and we'll come back to the cramp in a moment. And Steve and DJ are on the sofa, and this girl, Edie, comes out of the bedroom. And initially it did seem like DJ was shocked. Initially DJ did, just for a split second, seem surprised to see this random girl walking out of the bedroom, or the bathroom, I can't remember which. And then actually we realised quite quickly she knew she was visiting. It's Steve's cousin. So that's the mystery solved, but we still have the problem of Kimmy and Stephanie being in the apartment. Maybe they could have gotten away from it if it wasn't for the fact that Kimmy, to resolve her cramping problems, she took off her shoe. I was going to say she took off her foot. She took off her shoe, and the smell of Kimmy's feet filled the apartment, and DJ follows her nose. And because she's walking around the side of the kitchen area, Kimmy and Stephanie crawl around the back and stop right in front of Steve. And understandably, DJ's really annoyed. And she goes home, and Stephanie tries to apologise and tell her that she only was thinking of her, and they have a nice talk. And Stephanie makes it clear that she feels DJ wants her out of her life. And DJ explains that she doesn't want her out of her life. She wants her out of her private life, which I thought was a nice way of phrasing it. It makes it very clear that she's not happy with what Stephanie's doing. It's not okay. I do feel like maybe Stephanie had a responsibility to come to DJ rather than Kimmy, but at the same time, to snoop around is not okay. And I think DJ phrased it in a way that was very well delivered. And they have a lovely heart-to-heart. And then they open the door, and Michelle is listening in. And I love this because it just goes to show that everything Stephanie has been doing to DJ is going to be done to Stephanie by Michelle. It just continues. And I found it to be rather delightful. So some nice moments there, some great moments with Stephanie and Kimmy. They're always great to see together. And they even said that once they'd finished with this, they'd go back to hating each other. So I rather enjoyed that quite a lot. And I think the mystery went on for the perfect length of time. And everything unravelled in a way that was very believable and made a lot of sense. And of course, the Spray Guard 2001 is an absolute joy and a great invention. I'm assuming it exists as a product now. It would be ridiculous if it didn't, but I don't think I've ever seen one or anything like it in real life. I googled it. There were many face shields designed for use with hairspray. So yeah, it does exist. I assume, does that mean it didn't exist when this episode aired? It seems like such an obvious invention. Although somebody did phone up and say they'd invented it, so maybe it did. Either way, The Prying Game is an absolute delight. Loved every second of it. It's a really brilliant episode of Full House.